I often get this question: does the VWAP wave system work on crypto? And the answer is a resounding yes. The beauty of the VWAP wave system is that it's adaptable to any market or any asset class, as long as you have reliable volume data to work with. Traders are always asking me, can I really use it on Bitcoin or Ethereum, Solana, XRP? And not only can you, but I actually trade these exact names myself using the exact system I use on futures. And here's why it works so well. Crypto trades 24/7. It's accessible to traders all over the world. And the structure still follows the same exact auction market principles. Whether the market is in balance or imbalanced, or in fair value versus price discovery. And once you understand these concepts, it doesn't really matter whether you're looking at the S&P 500, gold, oil, or even Bitcoin. All auctions perform exactly the same, except with a little different variance according to the market behavior. In this video, we're going to review the VWAP wave principles and walk through how they apply specifically to the crypto markets, as well as covering the key nuances you'll need to adapt to the market, like what time to set your initial balance to, and how to anchor your session VWAP when there's no official open and close time. I'll also show you how to trade these exact markets live in our dedicated crypto sessions, so you can see exactly how to trade these markets using the VWAP wave system in real live market conditions. So let's dive into the charts. Okay, traders, let's dive in. So this is my usual trading layout on TradingView. All right, I call it my quad chart. I'm going to go over these separate charts, what they are, what time frames, what I'm looking for. We're going to talk about the principles of the VWAP wave system, and we'll talk about how to set up the charts, the indicators, but this is not going to be an encompassing video of the entire strategy. I have other videos on that. I also have the book on Amazon, the VWAP wave system book. So there's tons of materials, including the free Discord, to access all of the details of the strategy. There's a lot to it, so this video is not for that. This is going to be about the nuances of using the VWAP wave system to trade the crypto markets. Okay. So we're currently looking at Bitcoin, and it is August 17th. I have a 5-minute chart, a 60-minute chart, a 30-minute chart, and in the bottom left, you can't really see it, but this is going to be a daily chart, and I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see that. I also have Tick Strike right here. This is the live tape in audible fashion, so I could actually hear the buying and selling pressure on each of these major cryptocurrencies hearing the tape. All right, it'll click blue or click red depending on the buying selling pressure. It's a tool I use for confirmation, and we actually have a free trial for our Discord members available for that for an entire week if you ever want to check it out. I love it. It's super powerful. So this is Tick Strike, and you'll probably see that going blue and red throughout this video just to demonstrate the buying and selling pressure. Okay. So we use 3 major tools in the VWAP wave system. We use the VWAP with 1 standard deviation bands. Right? So this is our VWAP, 1 standard deviation bands on each side. Right? We use the volume profile. Right? And we use the initial balance. The initial balance is the first hour of regular trading hours. Now, since we don't have crypto trades 24/7, we don't have an official trading time. So we're going to go over what the nuances are for crypto, because that's usually the leading questions. How do I adapt this to crypto when there's no official initial balance? Where do I anchor the VWAPs to? And where do I use the volume profile? All right. So real quickly, to kind of go over just the basic tenets of the VWAP wave system, it's based on auction market theory. All right. So price is either in balance, right? We have a value area high, a value area low, and we'll rotate when a market is in balance. It will tend to fade the value area extremes, right? You might also know this as a ranging market. And then we also have price discovery, where we leave a balanced market in search of a new balance area, right? And then we'll trade in the direction of the break out of value, right? This takes place on all of the indicators, right? So when we have a VWAP, with 1 standard deviations. When we're trading in the bands, we can expect rotations in a balanced market. When we're trading outside the bands, right, we can expect price discovery to the upside. Okay, same thing below the bands, price discovery to the bottom side. All right, same thing happens here on the volume profile when we have a distribution like we do here. All right, we can expect price to trade on the inside. So we have a value area high, value area low in the distribution. And price will tend to rotate around the point of control, which is the highest level of price activity at the price point with the most trading volume. And then once we leave this distribution, we can expect price discovery in either direction, right? And we have setups for each of these different market conditions. That's one of the beautiful things about the VWAP Wave system is we have setups for each market condition. Whereas if you're a trend trader, you really only have setups in a trend. If you're a range trader, right, we implement both, but we have these auction tools to tell us when we're trading in balance or price discovery. All right, the last tool is going to be the initial balance. All right, this is the first hour of trading. I normally use the New York Open, so 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, and this again, we can expect to range in here unless we break fundamentally to either side. All right, and I have videos in depth on each of these indicators, how to set them up. But real quickly, the VWAP indicator we use is the volume weighted average price. It's this one right here. Right, and then you're just going to make sure you have on your standard deviations, upper band, lower band. All right, and then your input's going to be, we're going to use OHLC, and then whether it's a session, week, month. All right, this is the session, and crypto session opens at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it never closes, but that's what we use on TradingView. All right, I also like to anchor one to the New York Open. The initial balance, all right, this is my initial balance indicator. You can find this one at initial balance wave map. That's this one right here by Trader Drysdale. All right, we're going to set this one up from, I'm in Eastern time, so to get the correct times, I do 13:30 to 14:30. That's an hour. And that gives me the high and low, a midpoint, and a 50%, 100%, and 200% extensions from the first hour. All right, these are measured moves. And this can also be weighted to Asia or London. I don't normally do that with futures, but crypto is a bit of an exception. Okay. And then lastly, we have the volume profile. Here I'm using the session volume profile. That's this one right here. And we have this anchored to the market open at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Per TradingView, that's fine. And then we'll use 200 row size, and that's really it. And we have a value area high, value area low, and a point of control. So this would be typically my execution chart. I also have a volume profile anchored as well to the session, so I can see everything on this 5-minute chart. All right, this is my lowest time frame. All right, this is where I'll take my trades. On the left here, this is the widest volume profile, so I can see where the biggest value areas are, right, on the chart. And we can expect to revisit these, act as support, resistance, return to different value areas, trade in these, leave, right? Again, I have different videos to go into much more depth on how to do this, how to build a composite, right? So when we have a range of multiple days, we use the fixed volume profile. We can build a much bigger volume profile to show us where the high volume nodes are, the low volume nodes, all right, volume shelves, high volume nodes, and how these levels are constantly respected by Bitcoin, XRP, and when they break out, that's where we get the price discovery moves. All right, so there's a lot to trading the volume profile. This is my higher time frame composite in an entire session. And then lastly, in the bottom right on this 30-minute, we have our long-term VWAPs, right? I have one anchored to the week. I have one anchored to the beginning of the month. And then I have the previous session's New York Open, right? And you can see how we're in a balanced market on Bitcoin ever since the Friday Open, right? Look how it's respecting the upper and lower band, right? On Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum, I tend to get my best trades on the higher time frame VWAPs. All right, I really like the previous New York open close. I really like the weekly and the monthly. They give me really strong levels. You have to be more patient to get to them. All right, but we'll get some really nice trade setups. Once we break in, we held, broke underneath. Where do we go? All right, all this gives me great levels, especially on the weekly and the monthly VWAPs. Okay, and then lastly, we have this yearly VWAP. All right, this starts at the beginning of the year, and you can see prices in bullish phase. We're above the bands. All right, so we're in a bullish move on Bitcoin. You can see how we were respecting the lower band in a bearish trend. Okay, so all these setups apply in the VWAP Wave system. So all of this applies to the different markets, whether you're trading Ethereum or XRP or Solana. All right, you can see how beautifully these levels are respected. Look at this right here in Ethereum. All right, upper band and lower band on the weekly and monthly, highly respected price levels. Absolutely beautiful. So this is what we're going to be focusing on our stream. All right. You can download my free VWAP Wave course setup guide. That's going to have the major 4 core setups. And then I have a 8-module course in the Discord. You need a free trial. You can go through the entire 8-module course to learn the details of the entire system. So essentially the entire course is free because you can access it with a 7-day free trial. I stream every single day, every morning, every trading weekday from 9:30 a.m. to about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have 3 crypto dedicated trading streams. That's going to be Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so you can join me for those crypto trading streams. We're also going to be having a bonus stream on Saturdays. That could be in the morning, afternoon, evening. The time is going to vary depending on my schedule, but I'm going to be trying to work those in as well. Now, again, this video is not all about the strategy. It's about the nuances of adapting this, right, to your own charts. All right, I do have this exact chart layout is available in the Discord as well. Just head on into the free Discord. There's a link in the description of this video. Head into the free Discord and go into the free stuff channel. You'll find the guide. You'll find the tools. You'll find all the free videos, everything you need to get started with this strategy in more detail. So be sure to jump on there. Looking forward to working with my crypto traders Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. Hop into the Discord. We'll talk about the major pairs and then any other cryptos that are moving with good volume. We could trade those as well. But this system works beautifully on crypto, and looking forward to joining my active crypto traders. I do trade crypto futures, so I'm able to long and short easily, and I have proper leverage. I don't trade spot, but I'll get some good volume out of the spot pairs. So thank you for checking into this video. Check out the book on Amazon, the VWAP Wave system. Join the free Discord, and I'll be looking for you guys on the next trading stream. See you soon, traders.